Ladies and gentlemen, let's cut through the fluff. Too many people settle for average, routine, and predictable when it comes to intimacy. And let me tell you something. Women are not craving ordinary. They are not craving lazy. They are not craving half-hearted attempts. Women crave experiences that awaken them, thrill them, and make them feel alive. But here's the catch. Most won't say it out loud. They'll smile, they'll nod, they'll go along with the usual script. But deep down, their bodies are screaming for more, their hearts are yearning for a deeper spark, and their minds are whispering, I want to feel something unforgettable. The truth is, women secretly crave positions that break the monotony and bring them to life. Not just because of the physical pleasure, but because of the connection it creates. Think about it. A position isn't just about the body, it's about the energy. It's about trust. It's about dominance mixed with vulnerability and passion mixed with tenderness. When the right position unlocks that balance, suddenly the experience transforms from routine to revolutionary. The first position women secretly crave is the one that makes her feel deeply seen, deeply held, and completely desired. It's not about rushing. It's not about performance. It's about control and surrender dancing together. It's about giving her the space to feel powerful and vulnerable at the same time. When she's in this position, her body tells her she's safe, she's adored, and she's allowed to let go of everything else in the world. That's when intimacy turns into something she remembers long after it's over. The second position women secretly crave is about passion and intensity. It's about being consumed. It's about fire. It's about the thrill of knowing she has wanted so deeply that her partner will push past boundaries, lift the energy, and give her a taste of wildness. In this moment, she feels alive in a way that no compliment, no gift, no grand gesture could ever create. Because it's not about what's said, it's about what's felt. And that feeling is pure electricity. But here's what separates the men who understand this from the men who don't. It's not about memorizing positions like a textbook. It's not about performing like an actor in a scene. It's about awareness. It's about listening to her body, her breath, her energy. It's about learning her rhythm and amplifying it. Because when you meet her in that secret craving, when you unlock the positions she won't admit she wants, you don't just please her, you elevate her. And when you elevate her, she will never forget you. So stop settling for ordinary. Stop thinking intimacy is just another task to tick off. Women secretly crave to be awakened, to be touched in ways that reach their heart as much as their body. And if you dare to rise above the routine, if you dare to discover what she's really yearning for, you won't just be another chapter in her story. You'll be the moment that redefined everything she thought intimacy could be. Desire is a language of its own. It doesn't always need sound, it doesn't always require words, and it doesn't always find expression in conversations. For many women, the cravings they carry deep within are unspoken, hidden behind polite smiles, gentle nods, or moments of silence. Not because they don't want to express them, but because society has conditioned them to hold back. From an early age, women are taught to be careful with their words, to control their impulses, and to hide what they truly feel when it comes to intimacy. This conditioning creates a gap between what they crave and what they share. Yet, that desire never dies, it grows stronger in silence, shaping fantasies and longings that only find release when the right moment arrives. When we talk about desire beyond words, it's not just about physical attraction. It's about the quiet fire that builds inside, the yearning to be touched, seen, and experienced in ways that go deeper than routine. Women don't always say what they crave because they fear being judged, misunderstood, or dismissed. But make no mistake, those desires are there, alive and breathing beneath the surface. It shows in the way her eyes linger, the way her body shifts closer, or the subtle ways she responds when she feels truly connected. These are signs of an unspoken language, one that is more powerful than anything words could ever describe. The unspoken desire often lies in craving a partner who dares to go further, who has the courage to explore without being asked, and who can read the silence as an invitation rather than rejection. A woman may not say, I want something different, but her energy will reveal it. She wants more than a checklist of actions. She wants an experience that awakens every part of her, an intimacy that feels like discovery instead of repetition. It's in these hidden cravings where true passion is found, where ordinary encounters transform into unforgettable memories. There is something magnetic about a woman's unspoken longing. It is not loud, yet it commands attention. It is not written, yet it directs the entire script of intimacy. Women crave to be understood without explanation, to have their desires anticipated rather than requested. Imagine the power of a partner who recognizes her silent signals, who notices the shift of her breath, the way her body responds, and takes that as guidance. In that moment, she feels seen in a way words could never capture. This is why so many women secretly crave certain positions or experiences. They are not just about pleasure, but about the sense of being deeply known without having to spell it out. Desire beyond words is also about freedom. Women long for the freedom to embrace their cravings without shame, to let go of the constant need to explain or justify. Many times, they crave positions where they can surrender control without losing dignity, or where they can embrace dominance without being labeled. These silent desires live in the space between what is said and what is felt. And when a partner understands that space, he unlocks not only her body, but also her trust. Trust is built when a woman feels she doesn't have to beg to be satisfied, when she doesn't have to risk vulnerability by putting every craving into words. Instead, the connection speaks for her, and her desires are honored without judgment. What makes unspoken desire so powerful is that it fuels the imagination. It allows women to carry fantasies in their minds, to replay moments, to dream about what could happen next. It's not about loud declarations. It's about quiet intensity. When that craving is finally answered, it feels like a release of something long held inside. That's why it lingers, why it becomes unforgettable. Because it's not just an action, it's the fulfillment of a silent wish. Every woman, no matter how outspoken or reserved, carries secret cravings. They are shaped by her experiences, her fears, her fantasies, and her sense of self. Some may crave tenderness, others intensity. Some may want to feel dominated, others empowered. But the common thread is this: most of these desires remain unspoken. They live in the silence, waiting for the right energy, the right moment, the right connection to bring them to life. And when that moment comes, it doesn't need words, it doesn't need explanations. It needs presence, awareness, and courage to go beyond the surface. Connection is the invisible thread that transforms intimacy from something mechanical into something magical. Without it, even the most adventurous encounters fall flat, leaving behind nothing but emptiness and routine. With it, however, every touch, every movement, every moment feels alive with electricity. For women, intimacy is not measured by the number of positions or the level of physical effort. It is measured by how deeply connected they feel to their partner in that moment. That is why the power of connection is something women secretly crave, even more than the physical act itself. Connection is about presence. A woman can tell when a partner is fully there with her and when his mind is somewhere else. She notices the difference between a distracted touch and an intentional one, between a hurried kiss and one that lingers with purpose. When she feels her partner's attention completely locked on her, when she feels that every action is an expression of genuine desire, she surrenders in ways she never could otherwise. That surrender isn't weakness. It is the highest level of trust, a trust that only emerges when the connection is real and undeniable. The power of connection also lies in vulnerability. Intimacy is not just about bodies coming together. It is about two souls meeting without masks. Women crave moments where they can let down their walls, where they don't have to perform or pretend, where they can simply be. In that space, the connection is not only physical, but emotional, spiritual, and deeply human. When a partner creates this environment, when he shows that it's safe to be vulnerable, something shifts. The experience becomes more than pleasure. It becomes a union, a memory, a moment of truth. This is why certain positions hold such allure. It is not because they are the most exotic or acrobatic, but because they foster closeness. Eye contact, synchronized breathing, the ability to feel every reaction in real time. These are the elements that elevate intimacy into connection. Women secretly crave these positions because they make them feel truly seen. To be looked at, not just glanced at. To be held, not just touched. To be adored in the moment as if nothing else in the world exists. That is what creates an experience that lingers long after it ends. The power of connection is also about energy. Energy is not visible, yet it is felt in every heartbeat, every shiver, every spark that runs through the body. Women are attuned to this energy more than they often let on. They feel when their partner's energy is restless or distracted, and they feel when it is steady, passionate, and directed at them. The positions that women crave most are often the ones that amplify this energy, where passion flows freely without barriers, where both partners can lose themselves in the moment and still find each other within it. Connection is what turns intimacy into communication without words. A woman doesn't need to speak to let her partner know what she feels if he's truly connected. Her breath, her movements, her subtle reactions all become part of a conversation that only two people can understand. When he listens to that language, when he responds not with ego but with awareness, he creates harmony. And in that harmony, she feels something deeper than pleasure. She feels understood. But connection also requires courage. It requires stepping into the moment without fear of judgment, without holding back emotions, without treating intimacy like a performance. Women crave partners who dare to connect on this level, who dare to go beyond surface attraction and into the realm of shared emotion. The irony is that many people are afraid of connection because it demands authenticity, and authenticity cannot be faked. Yet, when it is embraced, the experience is unlike anything else. The power of connection is timeless. It doesn't fade with age, it doesn't diminish with routine, and it doesn't depend on perfection. It thrives on effort, awareness, and intention. Women don't secretly crave perfection, they crave connection. They crave a bond so real that every moment feels like a discovery, so powerful that every touch feels like a promise, so intimate that it becomes more than just an act of passion, but a profound reminder of what it means to be truly alive in the presence of another. Discovery is the heartbeat of intimacy. Without it, experiences become repetitive, predictable, and stripped of the magic that keeps passion alive. Women, more than anything, crave discovery, the thrill of new sensations, the adventure of exploring unknown paths, and the excitement of being surprised in ways that ignite both body and mind. This discovery isn't always about wild experimentation or extreme acts. Often, it is about subtle shifts, new perspectives, and fresh energy that make familiar moments feel brand new. The pleasure lies not only in what is found, but in the act of uncovering it together. For women, discovery is layered. On the surface, it can be about physical sensations, finding a new position, adjusting an angle, or adding intensity in just the right way. But deeper than that, discovery is about unlocking emotions and experiences she may not have even known she desired. It is about realizing that intimacy can always go further, that there are levels of connection and pleasure still waiting to be reached. The excitement comes from the unknown, from not being able to predict what comes next, but trusting that it will take her higher than before. Pleasure in discovery is also about curiosity. A woman feels alive when her partner approaches intimacy not as a task, but as an exploration. Curiosity asks, what makes you light up? What stirs your soul? What movement makes you lose yourself in the moment? When intimacy is approached with this mindset, it becomes a journey rather than a performance. Women secretly crave this sense of curiosity because it assures them that their pleasure is valued, that they are not just a participant, but the very center of the experience. The beauty of discovery is that it awakens parts of her that routine cannot touch. Routine is safe, but it's also dull. Discovery is daring. It says, let's go beyond what we know. It invites her into uncharted territory where anticipation builds and surprises await. That surprise, the sudden spark of something new, creates memories that stick. She will remember the time her partner shifted from the expected and introduced something fresh. Not because it was outrageous, but because it showed attentiveness, creativity, and the willingness to go beyond ordinary. Discovery is also empowering. For many women, unspoken desires linger in their hearts, kept hidden because of fear of judgment or rejection. But when discovery is part of intimacy, those hidden desires can surface naturally, without the need for uncomfortable words. In the right environment, she can reveal her cravings step by step, encouraged by her partner's openness to explore. Each discovery becomes an affirmation of her worth, her voice, and her right to pleasure. That is why the journey of exploration feels so powerful. It's not just about uncovering new positions, but about uncovering deeper layers of herself. The pleasure of discovery isn't only about the destination, it thrives in the process. It's in the slow build-up, the experimentation, the laughter when something doesn't work perfectly, and the thrill when something new feels extraordinary. Women crave the journey because it allows them to release expectations and simply enjoy the unfolding. In those moments, intimacy becomes playful and alive, stripped of pressure, filled with curiosity, and charged with possibility. This is where true freedom exists, when the experience is no longer about performing but about creating. Discovery also nurtures closeness. When a partner is willing to try new things, to step outside comfort zones, it shows dedication and care. It sends a message that he is invested in more than his own satisfaction, that he is committed to building something unique together. This makes her feel valued, desired, and cherished. The act of discovering together becomes a symbol of partnership, reminding her that intimacy is not static but something that evolves and grows with time. For women, the ultimate pleasure in discovery lies in balance. It is not about constant novelty for the sake of change, but about weaving freshness into the familiar. It is about keeping intimacy alive through curiosity, creativity, and courage. Even the smallest act of discovery, a new angle, a surprising gesture, an unexpected rhythm, can make her feel awakened, inspired, and connected on a level routine could never provide. Because discovery isn't just about the body. It's about keeping the fire of curiosity burning, ensuring that passion never becomes predictable but remains an endless journey of exploration. Confidence is magnetic. Curiosity is irresistible, but when the two come together in intimacy, they create an energy that women secretly crave more than anything else. Too much confidence without curiosity turns into arrogance. It assumes everything is already known, that there's nothing left to learn, that the same routine will always be enough. Too much curiosity without confidence feels uncertain and hesitant, leaving her without the sense of safety and strength she longs for. But when confidence meets curiosity, a balance is struck, a balance that makes her feel both secure and excited, both cherished and thrilled. Confidence is about presence. It's about the way a partner carries himself, the way he takes initiative without hesitation, the way he moves with intention rather than doubt. Women notice this instantly. They can feel it in the way he touches, in the steadiness of his rhythm, in the unwavering focus he places on her. Confidence tells her she is desired, that she is wanted fully, and that he is unafraid to show it. This assurance gives her permission to let go, to surrender into the moment without second guessing. She doesn't have to wonder if he is uncertain or distracted. His confidence makes her feel secure enough to release her guard. But confidence alone is not enough. Women also crave curiosity because curiosity says, "You are worth exploring." It communicates that he is not just doing what he knows, but is invested in learning her body, her reactions, her desires. Curiosity turns intimacy into a living dialogue, one where her pleasure is the guide and not an afterthought. It's in the small adjustments, the willingness to ask with action instead of words, the courage to try something different without fear of failure. This kind of curiosity excites her because it shows attentiveness. It says she is not just one of many, but a mystery he chooses to unfold again and again. When confidence meets curiosity, the experience becomes extraordinary. Imagine a partner who knows what he's doing but never assumes he knows it all. Imagine someone who leads with strength but listens with sensitivity, who can take charge yet remain open to discovery. For a woman, this is intoxicating. It allows her to feel both safe and adventurous, grounded yet free. She knows she won't be abandoned to uncertainty, but she also knows the encounter won't slip into predictable monotony. This balance keeps the energy alive, making every moment feel both thrilling and secure. Women secretly crave positions where this balance shines through. A confident touch reassures her she's with someone who knows how to take control, but curiosity makes him attuned to the little details that elevate her pleasure. Confidence creates the foundation of trust. Curiosity builds the spark of excitement. Together, they create an intimacy that feels both strong and alive, commanding yet tender. The truth is, women don't crave perfection. They crave authenticity. Confidence that feels forced, like an act, quickly loses its charm. Curiosity that feels mechanical, like a checklist, kills the mood. What they want is the raw combination. Confidence rooted in genuine desire, curiosity born from genuine interest. They want to feel that their partner is both sure of himself and eager to discover more about them. That blend makes intimacy feel personal, unique, and unforgettable. This balance also removes pressure. When a partner shows both confidence and curiosity, it frees her from the fear of judgment. She knows he is strong enough to handle her vulnerability, yet open enough to receive her signals. She can express herself without holding back, because she feels guided and supported at the same time. This emotional safety is what allows physical pleasure to reach its deepest levels. She doesn't just crave the sensation of touch. She craves the feeling of being guided by someone who is confident enough to lead and curious enough to learn. At its core, confidence meeting curiosity is about growth. It's about never settling into autopilot, never assuming intimacy has reached its peak. Women crave this kind of growth because it means the relationship is alive, evolving, and expanding. It means that every encounter has the potential to surprise, to teach, to deepen. With this balance, routine becomes adventure, and intimacy becomes a canvas where both partners paint with boldness and exploration. Every woman carries a longing that runs deeper than physical desire, the fantasy of being truly seen and genuinely valued. This is not about being noticed for appearance alone, not about surface level compliments or gestures that fade with time. It is about the kind of attention that penetrates past the body and reaches the soul. Women secretly crave positions, moments, and experiences that allow them to feel more than desired in the physical sense. They crave to feel recognized as a whole being, valued for their essence, for their vulnerability, and for the emotions they bring into intimacy. To be seen is to feel visible in ways that society often denies. Women live in a world where they are constantly looked at, but rarely understood. Eyes linger on their curves, words are thrown at their beauty, but few take the time to truly see the depth behind the surface. Intimacy offers a rare chance to rewrite that story, to create a space where she is not just looked at but deeply observed, where her presence is honored, where every movement, breath, and reaction is acknowledged as meaningful. In those moments, she feels not like an object, but like the very center of the universe, and that sensation lingers far beyond the encounter itself. To be valued is to feel worth beyond measure. For women, value in intimacy is not tied to performance or perfection. It is tied to how their partner makes them feel. Respected, cherished, adored. When a man values a woman, he does not rush through her body as if it is a checklist. He explores it with reverence, with patience, with awe. He communicates through every touch that she matters, that her pleasure matters, that her presence is a gift. This sense of being valued awakens a woman's spirit in ways that nothing else can. It tells her that she is not replaceable, not interchangeable, but unique and irreplaceable. The fantasy of being seen and valued is often unspoken because it feels too vulnerable to admit. To say, I want to be seen for who I truly am, risks rejection, risks being misunderstood. So many women hold this desire quietly, secretly hoping their partner will notice without being told. They dream of positions where eye contact locks them into a silent truth, where closeness eliminates all distance, where every touch feels intentional. They crave those experiences because they make her feel like more than a body. They make her feel like a treasure. What makes this fantasy so powerful is that it intertwines both emotional and physical intimacy. When a woman feels seen, her guard drops. When she feels valued, her body responds with trust and openness. The mind and body are inseparable in this craving. One fuels the other. A woman who feels unseen may go through the motions, but she will never release fully. A woman who feels undervalued may participate, but she will never let her deepest desires rise to the surface. Only when she feels both seen and valued does she allow herself to surrender, to embrace her cravings without fear, and to give herself fully to the moment. This fantasy is not about perfection in a partner. It is about presence. Women do not need a flawless lover. They need one who notices the subtle cues, who looks into their eyes instead of past them, who listens to their unspoken signals. They crave someone who makes them feel significant, not just in the heat of passion, but in the pauses, in the stillness, in the quiet after. Because being seen is not just about what happens in the act. It is about feeling recognized as a whole person throughout. To be valued means that her pleasure is never treated as optional. It is central, it is essential, it is honored. Women crave positions where their needs are prioritized, where their satisfaction is not a side note but the main story. They want to feel that their bodies are not just places of release for someone else, but sacred grounds where both partners meet with reverence. This reverence is what elevates intimacy from something physical to something spiritual. The fantasy of being seen and valued is timeless because it answers a universal human need. Everyone wants to feel that they matter, that they are cherished, that they are irreplaceable. For women, this desire is heightened in intimacy because it is the place where they are most vulnerable, most exposed, most open. To feel seen and valued in that space is to feel completely alive, completely honored, and completely free. It is the secret craving that turns ordinary encounters into unforgettable ones, the hidden fantasy that keeps passion burning, and the silent wish that every woman carries in her heart.